Today I'm going to show you how to make a friendship star using denim and plaid. I'm always seeing quilts that look great and I wonder, what if I used old denim jeans? To make our scrappy friendship square, I'm going to use 2 6-inch print squares and 2 denim 6-inch squares. I have 4 denim 5-inch squares for the corners, and then for my center I haven't decided, but I will either use one of the 2 prints here, 5 inches by 5 inches. Today I will be using a 6.5-inch ruler, some scissors, my marking pan, my Fiskars. I like the Fiskars rotary cutter because I'm left-handed and it works really well for me. And I like my 2.5 by 12-inch Omni Grid ruler, my rotating Fiskars cutting mat, and my little clips will be all come in handy today. First, we're going to take our 6-inch squares and we're going to mark on the back of, you can do either on your fabric or on your denim, and I'm going to do my denim. We're going to mark 1/4 inch off the center for our sew line, because we're going to make these into 2 angles. And I prefer to do the denim, and I prefer to go ahead and mark my line because I'm not real accurate. I'm still learning like some of you are. If you have markings at your sewing machine that shows you where your 1/4 inch is, go ahead and use that. There's tape you can use. Lori Holt has a that she uses. I just go ahead and find corners, 1/4 inch off and mark it on each side. I know where to sew. This isn't going to show through, you can't see it on the other side, so I'm not worried about it. Alright, next we will go ahead and lay these right sides together and line them up. Now you can pin these so you keep them straight, or you can use the clips, whichever you prefer. I use non-directional fabric, that way I don't mess it up. I'm going to sew down on both sides. I'm going to sew that side and down on that side on both of my denim fabrics from the sewing machine. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut these in half. So you can use your scissors and just cut down the center of it like this. I'm not the straightest cutter, so bear with me. And it's okay because it's just your seam. I mean, it's going to be enclosed in the seam. You won't see it. It won't affect it. So you can use your scissors, or we can use our rotary cutter. And I like the rotary cutter. It's so much quicker and faster. Just set it on the corners. And just in case we missed a piece. Okay, so now we have our pieces. I take these to the iron and I will iron them, and then we will go ahead and trim them up. I'm going to show you how to square these up to 5 inches. I have my rotary cutter, I have a 6.5-inch ruler, and of course one of the squares that we just made. So we are going to go ahead and count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. Make sure that we're not on the side that has the 1/2 inch on it. These are full. And then we're going to line up our diagonal on this diagonal line and make sure that we have 5 inches inside, and just cut away. Now that we have squared up our blocks, put together the block with the rest of our pieces. And to make this star, what we're going to do is we're going to lay out each of our squares so that hopefully I have these in the right order and then it will look like a star. Yeah, I know. All right, so there is the gist of our star. And we can put our corner pieces. These are our 5-inch pieces of background fabric. And in my case, I'm using denim. But you can use whatever you want. I like to use denim, thus the name of this channel. All right, so we can either use the same print fabric as our star points, or we could use a pop of color. It's up to you. I mean, this would be great for special blocks that you want to use. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just use the plain one that's the same as the rest of the fabric. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take and sew these together. And I'm going to use my little clips, which I've linked below, because they're my favorite. And I have my mat linked below for you if you would like to get one of these. My rulers I get from Joann's Fabric, because I have one here close by, so that's what I do. So I'm going to go to the sewing machine and I'm just going to go ahead and sew these together, and I'm going to chain piece them, and then we'll add these pieces and we'll chain piece those, and I'll show you how to do that. Take this to the sewing machine and we're going to piece them together, chain piecing them. I have a piece of fabric here because this is an old machine and it doesn't have the cutoff function. To keep it from sucking it in and making a mess, use a leader and an ender. Make sure these are lined up. Here we go. Oops. And I'm using a denim needle because I'm going through denim, and I can link to those below. This is what we call chain piecing. We just keep adding one block at a time and just keep feeding them through. Alright, now we're going to lay this back out and add the next pieces. And I'm not going to go, currently I'm not going to iron these until I'm making them into rows. Here are my little clips for clipping these ones. I'm just going to lay this back out, make sure the see, I have it upside down. I'm going to put it back over here. So, swish it around. All right. It's laying the right way. So when we add our pieces, they're going in the right spots. So again, we'll just clip these to the sides. All right, I'm going to take these to the sewing machine again, sew them on, and then we will show you how to put the rows together. Let's bring this over to the sewing machine. Go ahead and chain piece these together. All right. Now that we've sewed these into rows, we'll go ahead and sew the rows together. I'm going to take these to the ironing board and I'm going to iron it so that these are going in and that one's going out and those are going in so that they'll nest. And then I will bring it back and clip it together and show you how to sew it together. I like to iron from the back side a lot of the time so that they go the way I want them to go, and then I re-iron them from the front. And now we're going to just clip them together. And I didn't, as you'll notice, I haven't clipped them. They're still sewed together. I haven't unclipped them. That way I can keep it together and not lose the pieces in the order. So just flip it over and nestle those right up. Just nestle those up. Use our little clips, hold them together, Nestle it up nice and tight. Clip the corners so they don't come apart. We'll put these ones together. And just make sure when you go to the sewing machine that you don't sew them together. Sew that one into that one. Oops. Clip. And sew the 2 rows together. Or, well, the 3 rows together, but there's two spots to sew, and then we will be done. Just iron it out. Now, a little trick that I like that also keeps it kind of from, just go ahead and just fold that under, and then you can clip it on the edge, and it'll keep it from moving around and getting in your way. So that's a neat little trick that helps too. I do it with bigger pieces too, but even with the small pieces, it helps keep them aligned. So, all right, to the sewing machine we go. Okay, make sure that so see, that makes sure that I'm not catching that in my seam. All right. Make sure that you're all aligned, and just take your time. You don't have to be a rabbit. It's okay to go slow. I've done the same thing on this side. This is the side we sewed, and I just folded it in half and clipped it to the side. Alright, take off our clips, and I'm going to go iron this, and I will be right back and show you what it looks like. Okay, we're back from sewing it together and ironing it down. This turned out to be about 13.5 by 13.5. Do these with any half square triangles. I did this one. I made that one. I used 2-inch squares and made 1.5 inch half square triangles. This one here, these were 2.5 inch squares that I made into 2-inch squares, and then I had the 2-inch squares. These ones I fussy cut, so you can do any size you really want. These turned out, like I said, with my 1/4 inch. When I was sewing that one, this one's 1, 2, 3, about 3.5. This one here turned out closer to almost 5. So if you enjoyed this video and want to see more from me, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And I hope to see you soon. Play with your scraps. Play with different sizes. It's fun.